Let's talk some high school football. I'm Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson, along with Tulsa World Sports Editor Barry Lewis. And man, the high school football season really shifts into high gear here as we have district play starting off. So we're going to go over your top 5 games in the Tuesday edition of the Tulsa World. You can see Barry's column right there, and also on OKPrepsExtra.com. And game number 1, a lot of history in this showdown. We have Jenks at Bixby. It's also the Fox 23 game of the week. Looking forward to this one.
Yes, everyone remembers what happened the last time that Jenks went to Bixby. Back in 2022, Jenks snapped Bixby's state record 58-game winning streak. It was a classic game, 38-35. And Bixby and Jenks, the games have usually been close. Bixby has won most of the games against Jenks since 2018, but Jenks has come away from Bixby twice with wins. And But most of the games, even when Bixby's won, they've been close. They've been very competitive, a lot more competitive than most Bixby games have been. So I expect the same this week. Jenks is coming off a bye week, and usually great coaching staffs, which Jenks has, take full advantage of the bye week and get some things figured out. And I expect Jenks' offense will get back on track this week. Will it be enough against Bixby? Well, if for Jenks to be able to stay with Bixby, they better get back on track because Bixby's going to score some points. Yeah. So we'll find out on Friday. It's a great matchup.
All right, and game number 2, man, just another great matchup in Class 6A1. This one in Owasso, the Rams hosting Broken Arrow in that rivalry matchup. And what a start to the season for Owasso.
Yes, it doesn't get any better than that for Owasso, 3-0. Especially starting off with wins over 2 number 1 ranked teams. What a way for Owasso to start. Now, during the bye week, the challenge is, do you have a letdown after such a great start, or you just keep on working hard, which I figure that probably are with knowing Coach Antonio Graham. He's not going to let his players let down after the great start, because it would have been natural for them to let down after the big win over Bixby to start the year, but they didn't. We saw what they did, came back and picked up the big win at Jenks. So I don't expect a letdown from them, but if they do let down by chance or are not clicking on all cylinders, I think Broken Arrow is a team good enough that to make it really interesting if Owasso does not bring its A game for some reason. Broken Arrow 1-2, but had 2 real close losses. They've been impressive. Much improved over last year. So this has a chance to be really good.
And then we go to game number 3 and we go down to Class 5A, and we have a great matchup here of top 3 teams as Del City ranked number 2 in the state on the road at Collinsville, ranked number 3 in the state.
Yes, it doesn't get much better than this for a district opener. Collinsville's overcome a lot of adversity in the preseason. In the first weeks of the season, they had a player die in the preseason. And then they've had some key injuries early in the season, but yet here they are, 3-0. They've had a backup quarterback who's done a really good job, Austin Boren. And the running back, Scott Rigby, is off to a great start, but he's been a little banged up too. But yet Collinsville's overcome that. And but what a tough challenge they have going up against last year's state runner-up Del City, which is they lost some key players during the offseason, but they still got so much talent returning. Should be a blockbuster game Friday in Collinsville.
In game number 4, we go to Class 4A. Wagner, number 1 in the state, on the road at Fort Gibson. The Bulldogs, you couldn't have looked much better than they did in non-district play.
Yes, they look like a team on a mission, as I mentioned in today's column in the Tulsa World. And they know they let a title slip away last year. They're bound and determined not to let that happen again this year. 3 real convincing victories to start the season. Fort Gibson, a team a little bit under the radar coming into the year. They are 3-0. We'll know how good Fort Gibson is after Friday night's game against Wagner.
And rounding out the top 5, we stay in Class 4A. Skytook on the road at Cushing, and Skytook has had its best start to a season in nearly a decade.
Just like what we said about Fort Gibson, we'll know more about Skytook, how good Skytook really is after Friday's game at Cushing. Their last 2 meetings, the last 2 years against Cushing, have not gone well for Skytook. Cushing routed the Bulldogs on both those occasions. But Skiatook, which was 3-17 the last 2 years, they're 3-0 right now. Got a lot of confidence, and it'll be interesting. We'll know how far Skiatook has come along after seeing the Bulldogs play at Cushing on Friday night.
All right, that wraps it up for Barry's Tuesday column in the Tulsa World, the top 5 games in Green Country this week. Just pick up a Tulsa World every day of the week. They have great high school football coverage and, of course, coverage of all the sports. And OKPrepsExtra.com, great website to go for all that high school football coverage. For Fox 23, our game of the week, as we said, Jenks at Bixby will be live Friday at 6 in the 6 o'clock news for a live preview of that big-time game, and then we'll have live highlights. After our college football game ends Friday night, Fox 23 News will be on right after that, so make sure you watch that. And you can get all of our coverage online at fox23.com. Click on the sports page. You'll see an icon just like that at the top of the page that'll have all of our high school football coverage for the entire season, so click on there to see all the highlights you can handle. All right, have a great week.